Good evening. I'm Ernest K. Ladyfingers, and welcome to the newest edition of Architecture from Stone to Steel. Pull up a chair, slip into something comfortable, and join us as we venture into the thrilling world of buildings, people, and people who make buildings. Consider a few of the crown jewels of human achievement: the Great Pyramids, the Taj Mahal, Stonehenge. All previous topics here on Architecture from Stone to Steel. This week, we take a privileged peek at the prominent peaks of the Pacific Northwest in pleasant Portland, Oregon. Good heavens, ladyfingers, you may protest. Rightfully so. How does a post-apocalyptic, Antifa-ridden dump like Portland hold a candle to the most majestic cities in all of Europe? Dear boy, I am delighted you'd asked. The answer involves a delightful little concept called defensive architecture. Not ring a bell? You might, perchance, have heard it referred to as hostile or anti-homeless architecture. The latter of these may strike as degrading or insulting, but I implore you to think rationally and consider the following. Is homelessness good? Does it beautify the world? Do not be foolish. The answer is resoundingly, of course not. In fact, we here on ASS are proudly anti-homeless. Homelessness, while certainly unfortunate, constitutes an individual's regretful choice to opt out of making contributions to our glorious society. The problems continue to swell and fester as more and more so-called reasonable people are poisoned with anti-capitalist propaganda. In short, the truth is simply that no one wants to work anymore. However, we warmly welcome them back to productive society whenever they choose to return. Let us now venture on to sunny, beautiful Portland. Here we find our first destination, the storied Voodoo Donut Shop. As you look around, you may notice something a tad peculiar. Where are the benches and tables? How shall one enjoy their donut feast without them? I pose you this. On the contrary, how is one to enjoy their donut feast with these obstacles? Those of us at the zenith of society have no need for benches. Sitting down is for laborers and plebeians. One must stroll to fully take in the abundant greenery, a welcomed respite from the tragic scenery of an urban life. For our next location, we shall commence a leisurely stroll down Salmon Street in the heart of historic Portland. On Southwest 6th Avenue lays our first point of interest, a striking display of modern art. You see, for centuries, man thought of rocks as simply a facet of nature. Eventually, he discovered that they can be wielded towards the forward motion of society, as a deterrent of the lesser classes. This piece invites us to reflect on how we as a society must collectively overcome the lack of order. Strolling further down the street, we arrive at one of the finest and most recognizable examples of defensive architecture. You might not realize you're surrounded by this incredible form of architecture, but it's with you every day. The COP, or City of Portland for those who are not in the know, retrofitted these regular benches with bars in the middle, allowing for people to comfortably rest their arms, as well as exposing the inherent symmetry of these beautiful objects. With these humble additions to the COP, they declare, "Not on my watch, peasants." We now arrive at the Expensify building. Expensify. We're here to inspect the peaks of the Pacific Northwest. These spikes may appear to deter residents from the small window sill, and we beg to disagree. Think of the act of sitting on these as a form of meditation. The piercing surface outwardly manifests one's internal pain, allowing us to transcend our worldly egos. I say that these should namaste. Oh my sincerest apologies, my dear boy. I might have dozed off momentarily. That concludes this week's edition of ASS, Architecture from Stone to Steel. Be sure to join us next week for our two-part special, Urban Planning, how to keep low-income residents out of your neighborhood. Ta-ta for now.